Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the All Sports Podcast with me, Matt, and today, James. How are you, mate?
Hello, happy to be back.
Good to have you. Femi, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. Happy to be here, mate.
Hey, second in the running order. Congratulations. And newbie, Andy, welcome to the pod.
Cheers, mate. Good to be here.
Excellent. Right, let's get into some tennis first. Andy has featured on the podcast before as a written segment analyst on Brighton and specifically Graham Potter, whose fortunes have now turned. He's not the most likely manager to get sacked in the Premier League now. That's Espirito Santo. Have you seen Forest in trouble? Anyway, we're not talking about football. Right, digression on to US Open tennis. And he is now back to number one in the world rankings after, 70 weeks of Yannick Sinner at the top. Despite the ban, he was still world number one. Alcaraz wins in the US and regains top spot on top of the world. I'm pleased.
You can't help
good
yourself.
game.
You can't help yourself, mate. Always referring back to that ban. Honestly,
Is it a ban if it's for 3 months? Sounds like a holiday, right?
It's still relevant. And what I would say about it is that it's relevant this year, but I don't know that it always will be, because he's got the opportunity now with the rest of his career to put that behind him and make something of his career without it. And this will just be a blip at the start of his career. He's still early to mid-20s. He's got another decade of tennis, probably.
I mean, you've definitely
he ain't going
walked
anywhere. He is a quality player. Like, he's not going anywhere. It's just, will he get over the footnote? Like, will it be a footnote on his career? Like, it's a hard one.
I don't think it will, to be honest. Like he's so good to a point where there's so many other things to talk about with regards to his career. And also his personality. He's definitely improved, interview-wise as well. He's such a class act. Given his post-match interview yesterday and just talking about Alcaraz's team and just the sponsors, the fans, his charisma's definitely picked up the pace. Like, his PR would definitely go through the roof. He's going to be a big star, which is crazy to say about the former world number one tennis. But, he didn't have that personality where fans would want to connect with him. But I think that's definitely improved over time. He's, he talks more. His personality comes out a bit more. So, I think, all the best to him. He's a brilliant player. I know Matt loves to go on about the drug issue, but, I think at this point we kind of just let it slide and just, understand that he's got a great career ahead of him.
Yeah, what were you going to say, James?
I just feel like my perception of him has just been warped by your hatred. Like, that's this.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I will never see him as anything other than a cheat. Like, we were watching Wimbledon, and I was sat there like, oh, he's a cheat. And partner was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, you should see about the drugs.
And that's not on me.
That's on you.
That's
You're
not on me.
educating the masses.
No. It's not on me. It is on him, and it is on his team. And it is on the way that it was handled, and it's on the way that it was handled as well by the tour.
Well,
all I did was circulated information that was being buried in the media.
Honourable man.
Shout out to Matt doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
Look back over what I've said about it. He's got the opportunity to put it behind him. I've also said how good his tennis has been this year, how good the French Open was, and the Wimbledon final too. This one, I don't think this one kind of hit those heights. This was more of a momentum game rather than just unbelievable tennis the whole time. It was just massive momentum shifts, and one of them was on top in each set. And for the first 3 sets before Alcaraz pulled away is how I saw it.
Yeah, I think with these two, after Roland Garros, it was always going to be hard to replicate, the level of tennis we saw. Like, they were going back and forth. It was proper, a back and forth game where both players, had special moments in the match and they actually got to showcase their respective skills. But I think with Wimbledon, Sinner was very much the better player on the day. And similar to, the US Open, Alcaraz dominated for the most part. So I think we would always get, the back and forth between both players. But I think on certain surfaces, one of them's more dominant than the other. To be fair, I did think Sinner was the favourite going into the US Open.
I thought,
but then Alcaraz then drop a set, leading up to a final. And he was brilliant. Like, his serve has improved so much, and he's got Maldo's touch. Like, he's out of this world, man.
Yeah, and I think he has a level when he steps it up that is beyond any other player. I think, like, you watched after he lost the second set to Sinner, the third set, I think his average forehand speed, he upped by like 5 miles an hour. And to up that up in the third set, like, those tweaks, like, he's on par with Sinner, but I think he has that extra gear that he can throw in. Like, yeah, sure, I'm going to add an extra 5 miles an hour onto my forehand just to kind of win this set. Like, phenomenal. And he's got 6 Grand Slams now and he's 22. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so he equals Bjorn Borg. So Bjorn Borg was the other person at 22 to hit 6. Not bad company to keep.
I'm surprised you
Which
mentioned...
it's mad, isn't it? Like, if you think Djokovic had 1, I think he'd got 1 by that age.
Yeah, he had to wait until Federer and Nadal got injured for several years to accumulate the majority of his Grand Slams. Controversial.
Stop that. Djokovic is the GOAT of tennis, and I will not have you disrespect as much as used to anyway, dislike him, but he's the GOAT of tennis. Like, what he's done at his age, he's been dominant. Even the fact that he can still make it to the semis, facing these 2 monsters, and knowing there's always a chance he loses. I think, even going back to the semi-finals, that's the second time, I've seen Djokovic just look, lifeless. He looked like a defeated man, similar to what we saw at Wimbledon. And you almost feel sorry for him, going into these matches with Alcaraz or Sinner, because it's like you work all weekend. All week. Going to those games, perfecting your serve, your conditioning as well, and when you have to face one of those two, and then you just get dismantled.
Where does he go from here, though? Because he's clearly so much better than everybody else in the field, but he's so far off those two.
Yeah. He doesn't. This is it.
But
he will be
the game when you're the third best player.
And I don't think he will. I think he seeks perfection, and I think he has to feel like he can get back there. He probably doesn't, and he'll talk himself into it. And I think there may be 1 Grand Slam left in him yet.
Yeah, and tennis is such a game as well.
I think his issue is Grand Slam tennis with 5 sets is tough for him against those guys, those big hitters. I could fancy him in a 3-setter, but because he pretty much goes to the Grand Slams now, I think that it's going to be pretty tough for him to get back on the board. And if I'm honest, I think it's also to do with the caliber. I don't think the caliber of players is the best it's ever been in tennis at the minute. Like, you've got your 2 big hitters. The rest of the guys, if he was in the era when, like, I don't know, when you had the Federer, I don't know if he was, but like, if he was playing now in that era against the Federers, he wouldn't be getting to semi-finals. He wouldn't be going that far in the tour. I think it is partly because you've got your Sinners, your Alcaraz, and then you've got some guys who on their day are great, but the consistency is like the top 10 of tennis at the minute is changing every week. It's just, whereas for years it was static with the top 5 to 10.
Yeah. Very true. And I found even with Djokovic going into the games with Sinner and Alcaraz, it's like he tries so much for the first 3 sets, and once he loses one of them, like the third one, for example, if he's 2 sets down, he almost knows it's even harder to mount a comeback against these players. Like, you could literally tell from his body language, especially in the semis, like it was sad to see.
Well, he so rarely goes to 5 sets.
Yeah.
And when he does, the statistics are against him. That will always be playing on his mind, but especially when Alcaraz is playing like that. And he credited him. He did say specifically that he was outclassed by Alcaraz.
I feel like every athlete goes through that. Have any of you ever had a moment where your favorite athlete, you could just tell like they're done? Where it's like, it's just hard. Like, you root for them, and then, you can just tell they're done with this.
That happened with you and Tiger Woods, didn't it, James?
I'm in the period of illusion where every time I think that Tiger Woods or Lewis Hamilton compete, they'll win. And it's like, no matter how long it takes, I'll get out of that illusion.
That kind of, yeah. So after what year did Woods win the tour? Yeah, so 2019. And then 2020, 2021, you thought could do.
I think if
and then the major surgery happened in 22, 23, and that has been it since.
Yeah, he had his back redone after 20, and then he got in a car crash and broke his leg in about 52 different places, and now he's done. I think he'll probably play senior tour stuff, but he'll never compete at like a high end again.
And I hope he keeps doing the tailor-made videos as well.
I hope he just turns up to the Masters every year, and I can just become a Tiger Woods fan for 4 days a year and watch him get cut.
2 days.
Oh, well, he doesn't get cut from them.
That's a cheap shot.
Doesn't get cut from Augusta. Doesn't happen.
Mine was Anthony Joshua.
But yeah, it's a cliff horse. You'll follow him to the end of the world.
The world fight, like it took me weeks to recover from that. Honestly, no joke. Like just seeing him knocked down, like that was brutal. Especially because boxing as well. It's it's a man's sport. The ego, just knowing he tried to get back up and he was just fought. That broke my heart.
He might still have another win in him when he plays against Jake Paul, fights against Jake Paul, right?
There you go, Andy. Don't stoop to Matt's level, mate.
That's good. No, that was good.
Level.
That's good content. Snip that. I've not had it as a favourite sports person that stopped or has come off the cliff, but it's more for me at the age I am now that I've seen people go through their whole careers. I saw Federer go through his whole career. So from a youngster watching Federer play out his whole career, absolutely amazing. But then to think the last time he stepped on court was the last time you're ever going to watch him play again. And I had the same with Stuart Broad bowling in cricket. And I had the same with Danny Kerr playing rugby. Danny Kerr was at Harlequins and he was England under-21 captain when I was working there as a uni placement. And then from then on, I followed his career so closely for his time with Harlequins and then for England. And then I was at his last England match against Ireland last year.
Getting emotional.
Almost, yeah. But to watch like someone's everything they've given, like their whole career and everything they've worked towards is for that. And then for them to never do it again. And they have to make new careers, broadcasting or whatever else it is that they're going to. It's quite, it's quite monumentous to watch someone go through the whole of their career and then finish.
I know it's not really a sport, but I'm currently in that phase with John Cena.
And we're going to wrap tennis. We're going to wrap tennis with a quick shout it out quiz.
Oh, I thought we were going to get into John Cena.
Not getting into John Cena. All right. Starting off with men's Grand Slam. Who was the first man outside the big three? So that's Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic to win a Grand Slam after Wawrinka's 2016 US Open. So outside of Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, who was next to win after Stan Wawrinka in 2016?
When was Andy Murray? That would have been a few years after that.
No, earlier.
This
is 2016, I think. Andy Murray's last was maybe 2013 or 14, maybe 15.
Sorry, 2016.
Was it Cilic? Murray
Is that your final answer?
Cilic or Medvedev?
You love Medvedev. Is there a week that we talk about tennis that you don't mention Medvedev? Andy, let's get an answer. It's out of the box. It is out there. It was 4 years later. So outside of the top three, it was 4 years before someone else won a slam after Wawrinka. And it was Dominic Thiem at the US Open in 2020.
Damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got
Never in my wildest
I
dreams
remember
would
it
I
now
have
you
guessed
told
that.
me, but would never have got that.
Never got. I thought was that
a
close?
a COVID Grand Slam didn't count.
Was that close? Because obviously after Thiem, surely it must have been Medvedev.
We're not doing closest wrong answer. Okay. What year was Nadal's first French Open title? Andy?
No, I thought it was earlier, 2002.
Femi leaps into a 1-point lead. It was 2005.
I will never forget that for a specific reason, but I refuse to say.
Okay. Brilliant. That's great content. I've got an amazing story about that I'll never tell. Longest Grand Slam final in history
John Isner
was between who and whom? Grand Slam final, Andy. So it wasn't Isner
not
Mahut.
Grand Slam final.
Yeah. Got to listen carefully to the questions.
Apologies.
The Federer and Nadal. We'll see that big Wimbledon final.
It was the greatest final, but it wasn't that
No,
one.
that wasn't the longest. It was Nadal Djokovic
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah, you're right.
was it the US Open?
It was Australia
No.
Open.
It was on
It
a
was the
hard
Australian
court.
Open.
It was hard court.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the Australian Open. Australian Open in 2012. Right,
Yeah.
we're 1-1.
I mean, I got the venue.
No.
I mean, that's generous to give me
no.
a point, but sure, I'll take it.
Playing it. Yeah, in your rookie pod, got to be something extended. Ferry's fuming.
These are niche questions.
No, Roger Federer's. I wrote the questions myself. Roger Federer's last Slam win.
It's a Wimbledon one. Actually, no, it wasn't. He beat Nadal 2018 Australian Open.
Yeah, it was.
Because that was when I thought he was back. But then he really wasn't.
Then he was done.
Yeah.
All right. And Alcaraz's first US Open win. Get there first. Come on.
23?
2023. 22.
22. Femi's taken the
Bro, told you tennis is my
It's
bag.
romp time. Don't come for Femi on a sports quiz. All right.
Any more?
Do on tennis. What?
One more.
No, that was it. That was
Sign
5
on.
questions. I don't have another question.
So there's my piece of that.
I have no segue whatsoever to whip us across the pond to Monza, but we're going to go there. So, world's fastest Formula One track, and the world's fastest driver sets the world's fastest lap. The only real
This
headline.
race, the fastest ever race as well, just to add it in
Was
there.
it the fastest ever race too?
I think I saw that one. That's what happens when you have everyone pitting after one lap, I guess.
Everyone go on softs. World's fastest race, was it? Okay. Didn't hear that. World's fastest everything then. Was it world's fastest pit change as well?
World's slowest if you Norris.
Yeah. Screwed him, but fortunately the team have got his back.
Want to give some context behind that?
Boy, you do it. You give us the run through. Well, actually, I'll give the run through of the first 7 laps because it was amazing.
Nice.
The first 7 laps. So people say about Monza is that it may be the fastest track in the world, and it is, but you can't overtake. Yes, you absolutely can overtake. The first 7 laps were incredible for overtakes, for maneuvers, for great driving, like side-by-side driving. I was surprised there weren't more touches and collisions and people losing their front ends because it was epic. And Piastri and Leclerc were battling it out, and Verstappen and Norris were battling it out. And it was just good to see that they weren't just driving around in formation, which you regularly do get at Monza because it is really hard to overtake at. And hopefully that will change next year with the regulations too. But certainly, yeah, for the first 7 laps, it was incredibly aggressive. People were holding the gaps, staying in the DRS, and there was a lot of lunging going on specifically into the first corner after the DRS zone down the finish straight. So it was amazing to watch. But then it did become a little bit more processional after that. And then the only action really occurred, obviously, later on in the race with Lando Norris's pit stop, where you can pick us up, James.
The pit stop was probably ill-timed, but McLaren had to do something to negate they couldn't get anywhere near Verstappen. Verstappen had pitted, I think maybe 5 or 6 laps early onto hards, and the McLarens had to stop. So their idea was to try and get onto softs for 8 or 9 laps and blitz through. Norris had the right of way leading the race. He allowed Piastri to pit first as he was in danger from undercut from Leclerc behind him. Piastri's stop went without a hitch quite quick, and then Norris came in the next lap, had a 5 or 6 second stop, which let his teammate past him. Any other driver, any other pairing, that's just unlucky, but given it's Norris and McLaren who refused to let anything bad happen to him, they had Piastri let him back through. Race was then just very processional. Verstappen won, Norris beat Piastri to second. And the problem will be now, if someone has a bad pit stop and your teammate overtakes you because of it, you set a precedent that says, oh no, that's our fault, you're going to have to let him back through. So what happens at Abu Dhabi if there's 5 points in it and that occurs? Someone's going to get annoyed. So yeah, they've left themselves in another bit of a team hole, I'd say.
Well, at the minute they owe Piastri one, is what I would say.
Yes, I understand the whole until we win the team championship thing, we're going to act as a team, but the team championship is done. Like they should just be letting these guys fire out, and whatever happens, that they're essentially 2 drivers from 2 different teams fighting for a world championship.
That's why it left a sour taste with me, is because it is done. They do have the championship, although they didn't win the race. They were 2 and 3 on the podium, and they're not going to be outside. They're not going to be outside the podium positions unless they have catastrophic failures or incidents on the track, which they generally don't have either, because they have good reliability too.
Yeah, I would say the race itself just highlights how much of a driving freak Max Verstappen is. He didn't have the quickest car, but he had it on an absolute knife edge, and was able to run way less downforce than anybody else, not ruin his tyres, and just be rapid through the high speed stuff.
Yeah, next we go to Azerbaijan in 2 weeks' time.
I mean, Baku's high speed again, just another street circuit. Some slow corners in there. Problem is now we get into this development cycle. It's like there's not going to be that much money thrown at these cars now. I think where we are is where we are.
Any other main talking points from the F1?
Really, not a super interesting race outside the top.
No,
five.
it wasn't, other than the first few laps. And then obviously what happened with the McLarens, and the same story that we've told throughout this year about Norris and Piastri. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, did Norris miss his marks or anything like that? It was just the wheel got stuck.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. He could have missed it by a quarter of an inch, and
that's
the person
enough.
expecting him is going to make a slight mistake.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think they owe Piastri one. Probably.
I think he needs it at the moment. What's the gap? 29 points?
Maybe 30. I think it was 32 points after last week, and he only got a further 2 points, didn't he, this week?
Fine.
Maybe you're right, I'm wrong. Yeah, 29 points. That's insane.
Yeah, proper scrap now between the two of them. I think the comment that I saw Piastri make was he's never going to do anything that is detrimental to the team, because at some point he's going to need them. And I think that's probably the big, I don't want to slam Lando too much, but that's the big difference between the two of them. I think Lando, when it comes down to it, could be more of a killer, which is what he might need in this head-to-head.
Don't know that he's more of a killer. He's more emotional.
He is more emotional, but is he more, I don't use the word racy, because I think Piastri is an absolute, like, technically perfect driver. But it is the Verstappen, Senna-esque type of driving more on what Lando can do rather than Piastri. I think.
He has still got the raw talent, and he still maybe has more of a ceiling. Whereas Piastri might be Piastri.
Maybe, but if it is, it's still Walter calibre. Yeah,
exactly. If it is, he's got 14 podiums and 7 wins this year, and he's already on 300 plus points for the year.
That's the career best season of nearly everyone that ever races in Formula One.
How fortunate people are to get a podium. Ask Hulkenberg. I mean, Kimi Antonelli has his solo podium this year, racing for Mercedes, and looks like he may well lose his seat at the end of the year.
Can't see who they're replacing with. I just don't, unless they buy Max out. If they don't buy Max out, who else is there?
Yeah, he's been their long-term project, as George was too, and George seems pretty disposable to them as well, if Max is available.
Nah, he's signed a new long multi-year deal now. Russell's locked in.
How long is it? 2 years. An acceptable deal.
It's 2, yeah, 2020, at the end of 2027.
Okay, so he gets 2 years with the new regs.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, better than his 1+1 deal that he's been having. They need a lead driver, don't they? But if they don't get Verstappen, they'd be stuck. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, quite likely that Hadjar could jump across to the Red Bull, isn't it?
Yeah, they need to redesign the Red Bull, though, because they have to move away from the Max Verstappen way of building it and making it fast, and they have to be fast in a more traditional sense.
Well, that will be interesting with the new regs next year, is how supportive of Verstappen's style are the new regs, or how detrimental are they to what they can produce for a car that suits his style.
Yeah.
We'll see. Kind of just want to skip forward a little bit to March next year for the new regs to come in, now that this season's a bit of a foregone conclusion.
We'll see.
All right.
England played Andorra 1-2-0.
Before we play Andorra every other
qualification. Yeah. The only good that came out of it was Elliot Anderson was amazing. I think that's all.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
He's great. He's combative. That's not true. We've played unbelievable players in the PM. Trent was no good there.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's saying someone's unbelievable against Andorra.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been unbelievable in the Forest shirt for a year. It's not like he's not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they finally called up the player from the under-21s they should have. The problem they're going to have is when you have Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson both ready, which one do you play? Because one of them plays next to Rice.
I'm offended we're not talking about the star boy.
Onana, he's gone. We don't need to talk about Onana anymore. He's
Who
gone to
could you be
Trabzonspor.
referring to as the star boy? There's no United players in this.
Rashford.
Come on.
What do you mean, come on now?
He's unbelievably talented, but he's getting ruined by United. He needs to leave.
Yes. Yeah,
Regardless of what you
absolutely.
say, to me, he absolutely should be in that England squad.
Not yet. He can't get in the United
No.
squad. A team that finished 16th last season.
No, that's because of the position he's being asked to play.
Centre mid.
No, he's competing against Bruno.
What, in a 10?
No, in an 8. Bruno hasn't
What,
played
is
centre
in
United.
the second central mid? If he can't get Bruno out of a second central mid, or because Casemiro, who's 42, then he can't be that good at the moment.
No, well, you can't have how Amorim sees that team. He's trying to play 2 players in the middle. You can't have Bruno and Mainu. You need someone who's defensively minded. And yeah, and I still think Mainu absolutely should be in that England squad.
So you think he should be the defensively minded person next to Rice, or you think Rice should do?
And I think Rice should play as a 6. I know Tuchel said he doesn't want to play him as a 6. He'd rather play him as an 8 because that's where he's playing for Arsenal. But I still think he has a lot to offer in the 6 position, and Mainu should play as an 8.
Probably his issue is the volume of choice that he's got in position and formations it's just not achievable with the amount of games and times that he has with the squad, which is why I think he just needs to simplify it.
There's too much competition for Mainu to play in central midfield for England at the moment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Who does he
That was
replace?
a wild shout.
Yeah, he's not better than Anderson. He's not better than Wharton. He's not better than Rice.
That's a joke. That's a joke of a statement after for a player who played in the Europa League in the Euros final. Talking about he's not better than Anderson. He's not better
He's
than
not at the
Wharton.
moment.
2 players who haven't even played international football at the highest level. Stop that.
He had 3
Let's
months.
not
and he was
do that,
throwing
mate.
into the squad.
What are we talking about? Anderson and
This
Wharton.
is a guy who can't get in a United team that's the worst I've seen it in 20 years. Like,
And I've explained the context. He's not going to play over Bruno.
okay, so what teams in the Premier, in the top 4 teams does he get in?
But Bruno wouldn't make the England side either.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You have me there, mate. You have me there.
If
Talk
he
about-
needed to leave and he didn't, so he won't get in the England squad until he does. You're not going to go, oh, this guy's great. He plays behind Bruno, who's also great, so I'm going to put him in the England squad. That's just not how it's going to work.
I think he's better than both players you just mentioned, Wharton and Anderson.
Saying that, they have done that with Lewis Skelly, though, who just doesn't get in the Arsenal team.
I don't know. I think he played enough football last year. And I'd also say Mainu did play in a cup game against Grimsby Town and you lost.
That's what we're doing. We'll put
That's what we're doing.
we'll put the
You have
whole.
to judge him. You have to judge him on your,
we are
Femi.
putting-
You have to judge him on his
literally, A
performances.
team game, we are basing off one individual player, and that for that reason, Manu doesn't get into England squad. Listen,
He's only young. He'll be in the England squad in his career. He's just not there yet.
remember this.
You
day,
would have expected him to
8th of
run the
September.
game.
Tuchel don't take England past the quarterfinals.
He's 20 years. He's only 20 years old.
Yeah, right. Tuchel did not take England past the quarterfinals in any tournament.
England will not. Tuchel did not, or he won't.
He won't take England past the quarterfinals in any international tournament.
Okay, so past the next major tournament, which is next year, there'll be a
World
new
Cup.
manager.
They do not make it past the quarter. They don't make it into the quarterfinals.
I
Round of
think
16.
I think the World Cup next year's out of reach anyway.
Like we're talking about, oh well, this player, bro, they were horrendous against Andorra. Like that's a team they should be slapping 6, 7.
I mean, they lost to Senegal as well. They're not a good team, but I'm just saying that the player, that's not to say that the players are any better. But the competition versus Mainu versus who is there at the moment, he's losing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, losing unfairly. That's what I think.
But when he's given his chances against a team like Grimsby, he should have ran the show in that game. If he's those many
Pretty sure
levels
Manu
above
ran the
these
show against
players.
Belgium when he played.
He did. He was good before the Euros. I agree.
Yeah, he was
You
really
can't-
good before the Euros.
We're not playing someone for how they played 2 years ago. You can't do that.
If we're doing it in that case, then Harry Kane absolutely should not be starting for England because
I
he
mean,
has.
about 35 league games last year.
No, he hasn't performed. No. He hasn't performed for England for matches. He hasn't performed for England. That's a fact. we can't use one rule for one player.
I don't think we're far away from phasing Harry Kane out, so I don't massively. But you can't say last season he was one of the top goal scorers in the world.
Yeah, I'm saying for England. In the Euros, he was horrendous for England.
He's probably still got 3
There
goals.
are arguments, being made about him being dropped for the final.
Yeah, but it's because he's getting to the end of his England career. What is he, 30, 32, 33?
Yeah, but we're talking about now, aren't we? No, you can't move the goalpost.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Euro squad going into the he might not be the starting striker for the World Cup in a year and a bit time. When is it next? When is the next US World Cup?
Next year.
The next summer.
Next summer, yeah. So in a year's time, is he the starting striker? Who knows?
I think Maney should absolutely be starting 11 for England. And
You can
He
see
was a
he's
little
very
biased.
passionate United fan, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the Man U show, I would never have guessed.
I'm just saying, I'm deeply offended that James would say Anderson and...
I know.
I think you could ask the general...
We're all saying it. James isn't saying it. We're all saying it, just to be clear.
If you could ask the football population who watch football how you rank those 3 midfielders at the moment, I'd say 95% of people put Manu at the bottom.
When you say at the moment, like based off what?
The last season.
The last season, I still put Manu above both of them.
I
We
wouldn't.
just played last 10 games.
Your team has just spent
last
summer trying to
20
sign
games.
Wharton.
Yeah, but as a defensive midfielder. Because Casemiro is past it. In an ideal world, we wouldn't play Bruno in that number 8 position. We'll play him in number 10. And we'll play Manu next to Wharton.
So the way you've signed players has stunted your own academy graduate, because if you just not signed Cunha or Mbeumo, you'd have put Fernandes there and Manu would have started the season.
Listen, that's up to Amarim to...
If Amarin doesn't trust Manu to do that formation, then that probably speaks volumes, because you need that as the foundation.
Yeah, but England play with 3, don't they?
2.
I don't think
No,
that's
they play with a 3 and a 2,
Yeah.
but I'd say more 2. Definitely 2 on Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday with 2.
But Tuchel's not known for a 4-3-3 that much. I'd say he's more likely to play a 3 back than he is a 3 midfield. Honestly, so much could change in a year. Manu could be the guy, but he's not that at the moment.
I think the issue with international football is about consistency. I think Manu, I've probably seen him play better than the other 2 guys, but
Sure.
it's the odd occurrence, whereas I would place the other 2 guys playing more consistently day in, day out better, which would get them into the England squad, I reckon.
I think if Adam Wharton's
Andy?
Spanish,
We need to see him here more often. That's a very balanced view. Very balanced.
Adam Wharton's the best of the 3.
No, he's not. Adam Wharton in his position and Manu in his position, I'm sorry, but you can't compare the 2 at their best. Manu was brilliant at his best.
What's
Brilliant.
Manu's position on the
Number
bench?
Who's a better 8, Manu or Rice?
Rice,
Okay, so you're putting Rice back to 6 to facilitate a guy who can't get in the United team.
because Bruno is playing in that position.
Yeah, but that's not okay. All right.
No, but look,
What
look,
other yeah, we're going round it. We're going.
But
Bruno,
is that because no one else in Man U is making chances?
say again?
Is that because no one else in the Man U team are making any chances?
I don't just think it's just with the Man U team. I think Bruno walks into every team in the league. Every single team Bruno walks into.
yeah, he's a world-class player. And I think
He's just that good. The stats back it up. And before, Matt, you say the one season where he didn't lead the chances creation was when Trent was leading in chances creation. But other than that, he's been top 2 every season since he's actually been in the Premier League. And for a player like that, with that ability to find the spaces, to find the passes, you find a way to make, the team work around him. It's just the reality of how things are. Like, even with England squad, I get it. Say Declan Rice. Maybe Manu's not that good to the point where you build a team around him. I completely understand that.
I understand that is who Bruno Fernandes was. I do understand that, and I know his quality at creating, and that is what he was good at. That isn't him. Okay, yeah, he would be if he played like that. But yeah, it's Bruno, KDB, Trent is the order.
There we go.
what of chances created since Bruno came?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
If United had better strikers, hey, this wouldn't even be a conversation, man. You're getting me worked up on Monday night.
You're a passionate guy, and I respect it.
All right, we'll leave it there. If you have enjoyed listening along, you can like and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube. You can get in touch at allsportspods@gmail.com. And we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.